What's going on, Summoners? My name is Nathan Ng, and in this short video, I'll give you guys a quick preview on what's to come next patch. This next patch is the biggest one that we've seen in this season. Tons of system changes as well as champion changes are coming up, so stay tuned. Make sure you hit that sub button so you don't miss out on content like this, and let's get started with the video. Let me start with the changes that target practically the entire roster of champions, systems. A ton of items, both legendary and mythic, are receiving adjustments next patch. Turbo Chem Tank, Divine Sunderer, Gore Drinker, Trinity Force, Serex Cage, Death's Dance, Black Cleaver, Ravenous Hydra, Mob Mortius, Hex Drinker, Hearthbound Axe, and the Blade of the Rune King are on the list. This is a gigantic list and I don't even know where to start. As this is a preview, we don't really have the exact changes just yet. However, I promise you that, like always, we'll follow up and upload the full list of changes as soon as we get a hold on them. From the looks of it, however, the top lane is up for some potential meta changes as a ton of fighter items are getting tweaks next patch. That being said, let's talk about the champion buffs next. This buff list is rather small next patch. Lilia and Quinn are both on the list. Whether Lilia needs a buff or not may be hard to tell. Her play rate has been extremely low this season, and maybe that alone shows that she needs some assistance. Technically, she's one of the newer junglers along with Viego. In spite of this, players aren't too keen on using her. Her current 48% win rate in high elo is rather discouraging. Next is Quinn. While she proves to be a powerful force in the hands of skilled players, her performance in low elo is rather lackluster. I'm personally a little bit scared to hear that she's getting a buff, but hey, Riot thinks that she needs them and it's probably something that I need to work on. Speaking of which, if you want help improving, make sure you check out our website ProGuides.com, where you can use the code WINTER to get 20% off a subscription. Next up are the champion nerfs. The upcoming list of nerfs are pretty big. On it we have Zeri, Senna, Caitlyn, Amumu, Corki, Pyke Mid, Twisted Fate, LeBlanc, and Glacial Augment Janna. League's newest champion Zeri is definitely a hot topic. While her current overall win rate is extremely low, certain regions like Korea are already showing that she's OP. Given her explosive and movement-intensive kit, her win rate is expected to start low but gradually rise over the upcoming patches. As a result, Riot is nerfing her in spite of the current negative win rate. Senna received a massive buff this patch. She basically had Glacial Augment added into her kit via her Q. I mean, honestly, it's just my opinion, I don't know what they expected. The buffs were a bit too much and Riot needed to cut back on her power elsewhere. Then, there are other picks like Caitlyn, Twisted Fate, and LeBlanc who are up for nerfs as well. I am surprised by these three because while these champions are good, it feels like there are better picks out there. Proceeding forward, it looks like the top picks are going to stay where they are, but the bright side is that these three are usually pretty difficult to play against. Amumu is receiving a nerf because he's still a low elo monstrosity, hitting win rates as high as 54% in silver and lower. Mid to high elo enthusiasts that like playing him will unfortunately have to suffer a little bit next patch. Personally, I'm surprised that Corki is getting nerfed and Victor isn't. This is definitely a nerf aimed at competitive play as a result of his safety. There's also a Pyke Mid nerf coming up because that's what happens every time they try to buff him as a support. The final nerf is for Glacial Augment Janna. Janna was also the target of many changes this patch. One of them was a change to her E. While she no longer reduces the cooldown of it for landing crowd control, she instead gains healing and shielding power. Since Glacial Augment included a scaling ratio with it, it turns out that this new Janna build is actually quite OP. We'll see what changes Riot has planned, but they'll probably find a way to reward the effect and change the coding so that way the synergy isn't that strong. That covers the nerfs, and finally we have some adjustments coming up. The two adjustments that we have coming up are for Nami and Ahri. We have a decent amount of info for these, but then again we'll publish the finalized details as soon as we can. For Nami, her passive is receiving a buff and her E a small damage nerf. Instead of providing a flat movement speed buff, her passive will grant a huge burst of movement speed that decays over time. This is, in theory, better as players with good reaction time will be able to use it to dodge crucial abilities. However, the damage reduction on her E balances this out. Finally, there's Ahri, who has some adjustments to several parts of her kit. First, her W's damage will be increased, the mana cost lowered, flame duration shortened, movement speed duration increased, and last hitting logic updated. Her E won't grant bonus amplification, but it'll have its damage increased by a moderate amount and the mana cost lowered. One of her biggest changes is to her ultimate, which, with her reworked passive, will allow players to access partial resets. Ahri's basic stats are getting nerfed because of the upcoming changes, but again, her passive is getting a rework. Killing minions or monsters will grant Ahri an Essence Fragment, and after obtaining 9, she consumes them to heal herself. When Ahri scores a takedown within 3 seconds of damaging an enemy champion, she heals for a larger amount. With all these adjustments covered, we finished our patch preview. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and also feel free to join our Discord, which you can find the link in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all in our upcoming video that covers all the upcoming changes in detail. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.